This is Sue Greenwald with Awakened Stories, and I'm here today with John F. Kennedy Jr. Hey, John, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Sue. Like I
Awesome.
say, every time I get to do a chat with you, it's awesome. It really
Yeah.
is. It makes my
Yeah.
whole day.
Excellent. Well, thank you. It's so nice hearing that. And I'm so glad to see your story is really getting traction out there. So everybody's been sharing the story, sharing the videos, all this stuff we've been talking about, and it's working. So thank you all that are watching. And for those that are new, the book Stolen Identity, written by John Kennedy Jr., who we're talking to, is really an overview of the story that we're going to talk about today. So if you can go to Amazon and get the book and read the background of the book and or watch the first two videos that we did, that kind of gives an overview of the story. And it's not complete because you're going to be doing a book too, you said, Stolen Identity too.
No,
No?
I'm hoping Jackie Goldman does Stolen Identity too. I would love to get with her and because people are saying, "Hey, I want more. I want more.
Yeah.
I want more."
Yeah.
But I am right now working with a lady. Um, Wonderful, wonderful, very intelligent lady. She has studied MK Ultra for years. We have a lot of stuff in common. She flew out here a few months ago and we did a few interviews. And I was like, please do a book about me, please. She's an author. She is was a lawyer. Her husband was a doctor. She's very, very intelligent. She's got her stuff together. And not too long ago. Well, I think it's been about a month now. She says, "Are you serious? You want me to help you write a book?" And I'm like, 100% serious. And she's like, "All right, I'm on it."
All right.
So it, it's it's basically a book um, about the past history. It's a lot about me, and then it's a lot about her and her research and the MK Ultra and the government and what the government is doing to
Right.
people.
Right.
It's Robin's been reading it. It's gonna be it's I'm crossing my fingers that it gets
Yeah.
number one. I really am.
There are going to be so many books and documentaries and movies about your story, each with its own perspective and flavor, but it's good because people will understand. Like right now, they don't even know that MK Ultra is real. Or if they think about it, they think, oh, it can't, it's just a very small percentage of the population. It's over there. You know how we think about everything, right? It can't happen to me or my circle of friends. Let me just
Yeah.
say right now, it's very prevalent out there, and it happens to way more people than you would know or expect.
Well, yeah, when I was young, if you talked about MK Ultra, you were usually eliminated.
Oh,
MK Ultra is a weapon of war. It is a psychological mind weapon. You can get people to do things that they would not usually do, and that's about anything in the world, and then they don't remember what they did.
right.
It's a weapon, and that weapon has been used on me over and over again my whole entire life. So I'm pretty familiar with it and how it works. That weapon scares the crap out of me. They got so many different weapons, our government. And I was watching the other day. The story's getting out on MK Ultra on the Story Channel. It came up where they had a special series just on MK Ultra and our CIA and LSD and experimenting on so many people with what they
Right.
did to
Right.
control people.
Right.
Um, a lot of a lot of CIA experiments went to this. They are the best at what they do, and a lot of the times these people that know about it aren't on our side. And I've shared that in my book. And but people really need to wake up to what MK Ultra really, really is and does.
Right.
And it affects a lot of the wealthy and the big at the circle at the top, and how they can use that weapon against each other. And speaking of weapons against each other, I just want to say thank you to the Lions and the people that share my story and are helping me get it out because, like I always say, I can't get it out myself. Thank you, Sue, with all my heart. But one of the tricks to our CIA is to divide us and get us fighting within our own little bubble. They keep us in a bubble. The media, social media is a regime, and they keep us from getting out our story out to the world. You know, their stories get out through the mainstream media and internet all the time, but they keep us all suppressed. And one of the ways to do that is to keep us fighting between ourselves, intercepting, emails and messages. And anyway, my point is, please concentrate on the story itself and getting that out there. Don't worry about what somebody's doing and how they're doing it. It's all love, people. And just remember that if somebody gives you a bad comment, just move on to that comment. Just
Yeah.
I've been hit many, many times. I know how it works. I've lived it. People will come into your life to destroy your life. It's the old scenario when I was a Hell's Angel, they would get people, I still consider myself a Hell's Angel, but they would get people like women to walk down the street, and then try to infiltrate the clubhouse. And it was all done not for good, but to get intelligence on that. I've had many people when I first started sharing my story send me gifts, be my friend, share my story. And it's all not to help me, but to try to get me close to hurt me. And that's what they're doing. So people just wake up, please be aware to what I'm saying. Um, and try not to worry about it. It happens. That's the way the world works. But yeah, I just wanted to put my 2 cents in there.
Well, we all have our idea of how things should be or how we should go forward to get the story out there. We all kind of have an idea. And if something doesn't go exactly your way, but you're still trying to share the story, let that go and just keep moving forward to get that story out there, because the dark forces do want us all to fight. They do want us to doubt the story. They do want us to disagree, right?
Yeah.
Because what
Yeah,
does that
I've
do?
had so many I got
Yeah,
so many circumstances that I could share. One of them is somebody, they want to share my story, they believe my story, and next thing you know, they're saying my father was a woman, my mother was a man, et cetera, et cetera. And my father was gay, he liked men. They're talking about my father. They're talking about one of the best presidents we have ever had. We're talking about that wanted the best for we the people,
yeah,
and they assassinated him for it.
yeah,
And then I get all these comments. I lost my family because we want better things for we the people. And I'm just letting you know that that kind of thing gets thrown in there. And then you got all the fake John Kennedy Juniors coming out with Elvis and blah, blah, blah. It's huge the way they will try to
right.
disrespect me, disrespect the story, make it so people don't want to realize the truth when it's right there in their face.
Right. Well, they don't want the story out, so that's why they put fakes in your name, right? And they're like, we've never seen their pictures or anything or heard the story about how they survived, right? We haven't heard any of that, but we're supposed to want them for a VP or whatever
Hmm.
political office. And of course
Yeah.
people do, right?
And there's so many fake accounts out there that are
Yeah.
popping up every day of me. I've shared my only account, but the other day somebody waved at me on social media on one of my accounts, and it was me. Somebody with my name, with my picture, is waving to me, wanting to be my friend, and it gives me the creeps. It really does. You want me to friend myself? But yeah, and then you hear they start asking for money and
Yeah.
donations
Mhm.
and all this other blah blah. Um, it's really sad what they're
Yeah.
doing to suppress the truth.
Yeah. So obviously, donations are always welcome, and we have a donation button on the website and in the description of this video. But John will never send you a personal message through whatever platform asking for money, asking for donations. So if you get that, even if it looks legit, that's not him.
I
Okay?
have always been that way. I've
Yeah.
smoked cigarettes since I was 13. And I'm the type of guy where if I see somebody smoking a cigarette, I won't ask them for a cigarette. I'm just that way. I won't, even though I'm sitting there dying for a cigarette, I'll pick a cigarette butt off the ground and light it up before I ask somebody for a cigarette. And that's just, that's how I am. I don't know why I do that. Most people, I've been asked a million times in my life for a cigarette. I probably gave out thousands of dollars in cigarettes from people over the
Yeah.
45 years or whatever it's been, people saying, hey, you got to smoke. I've even almost got into fights over it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah. Well,
I'm not going to go on and ask you. I get a lot of love blessings. I really, really do. And they are so much appreciated. I was cleaning up the house a little bit because I want to make a video of what me and Robin have got done so far. Somebody gifted us a $500 Home Depot gift card, and I was able to get cabinets, which was so what a wonderful gift to help us. Much appreciated.
right.
And this lady asked me yesterday, she said, you got Robin a kitchen sink yet? And I kind of like, no, it's gonna have to wait till the first of the month, maybe. But it's all coming together,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
really is. It's this place was when me and my son lived here, and actually, somebody asked me for my picture of me holding up a sign that said, "I'm John Kennedy Jr. I'll work for food,"
Mhm.
and I was able to locate that picture this morning. But this house was literally, I was like, should we just abandon it and have it tore down, or should we fix it up? It was that bad. But, we decided to dump thousands of dollars in here and fix it up and make it livable. So I keep saying we're almost done, but I always say that.
You're not done until Robin has a kitchen sink.
Yeah, right.
And a counter on those cabinets. So that's funny.
And the
But
price of stuff is going up all the time.
oh yeah, it
Just to
seems like
get just to get her countertops is $300 for the cheapest ones.
Since the pandemic, building supplies have skyrocketed. Wait, oh wait, food has skyrocketed. Oh wait, gas has skyrocketed. Oh wait, rent and mortgage fees. I mean, you fill in the blank, but like if you had gotten a quote to build a house, let's say in 2020, and now you get a quote to build the same house, it's going to be substantially more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know how people are doing it. I'm here
yeah,
in Bullhead City, Arizona, and I see people building houses left and right.
yeah,
They're basically tearing down these old
yeah.
mobile homes that were placed here in the 60s, 70s, and things like that, and building regular new homes. A lot of vacant lots just because
Yeah.
this is a poor neighborhood and things like that, and a lot of vacant lots where old trailer homes used to be.
Mhm.
And I've seen, many, bulldozers come in and just totally remove the
Yeah.
trailer house. And I was thinking, maybe I should do that, but we decided to fix her up, and which is great because I've never been able to have a home.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And it's only going to get better and better and better. So, somebody in the chat, I may be able to see the video today, finally, well, after like weeks. So, we're always messed with whenever we do these videos. And like, I can't log into Zoom, I can't do this, I can't see my own video, they take it down, whatever they do. So, we know that we're over the target, right? Why would they
Absolutely.
bother if you were just a shyster? Why would they bother putting so much effort into censoring us, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And
anyways, go ahead. Go
with
ahead.
that said, my birthday was David Quigley's birthday was January 15th. And for some reason, I'm having trouble getting my birth certificate. I
Mm.
have a copy from years ago, but I'm like on hold trying. Yeah, I'm hoping it's not a forgery. I really am, because that's how they work.
Wow.
But David Quigley's birthday was the 15th, and I wanted to give a shout out to the king and
Stephanus.
yes, Stephanus, for giving me this wonderful, wonderful box and coin collection. Um, I wanted a coin collection for years and years. I even had me at one time a Kennedy half-dollar case to put the coins in. I didn't have the coins, but I had the case. And I got broke one day. This was a few years back, and I sold it because I didn't have coins for in it. But this coin collection is absolutely great. I can't wait
Yeah,
to start searching and see what I actually got in there. But it's a beautiful, beautiful box. I'll treasure it for the rest of my life. It's wonderful.
yeah.
So
Well,
thanks, guys, for that. Thank you so much for that
I
gift.
was on the phone with Stefanos a few months ago and he told me about it. So I was very excited, you know. I was very kind. And everyone that sends you gifts or the books or whatever, it's very generous and it's so much appreciated and it's very
It
exciting for
really
us to
is.
see. Yeah,
I did not think there was this many kind, wonderful, loving people that would do that. I didn't know they existed.
yeah,
And since I've been sharing my story, I have met so many, and you and the King's supporters and everything got hearts of gold. And I wish I could, thank you. I don't want to mention names on here, but each and every one of you, there's too many names to mention anyway. But I don't want to throw names out there because we still have many, many enemies, people.
right. Well, if everybody does little pieces every week or whatever, it forwards the story. And so it's gonna get to a tipping point where this story does hit the mainstream. You're gonna have a lot of activity, a lot of interest, a lot of everything go on then, which is super exciting. And after that, probably a lot of other whistleblowers will be stepping forward.
And I was just at the supermarket and these were 50 cents, so I had to get one. But it's the year, people. 25 this year. We're going to get the story out. So don't fight amongst each other. Hit
That's
the
right.
share button. Keep the cause in your heart.
Yeah,
And it's this year, people.
yeah. So
Justice, justice for all of us this year. Justice for my sister and my mother and the other casualties of this secret war.
right,
It's justice for all of us. It really
right.
is.
So King Smarty has been saying 2025 is the year of full and honorable disclosure. That means everything comes out. It's not trickled out to the people. Oh, they can't accept it yet or whatever. No, we get full honorable disclosure this year of every story. So this is a big one. This is a global story.
Yeah, I've had so many comments. This
Yeah.
just popped into my mind. One of them was, "I can't handle your story. You're giving me post-traumatic stress disorder." Well, wake up, cupcake, because the truth is coming out.
Yeah.
If you can't handle it, bury your head in the sand. But we're trying to wake everybody up that will accept the truth.
Yeah. When the disclosure does come, people that haven't, watched the videos or educated themselves in some way, they're going to be flipping out. Their minds are going to be blown. Now, my mind is blown, and I research and do all of this every day for years. Okay, so think of somebody that just lives what I call a mainstream life. Okay, they work, they come home, eat dinner, and then they watch TV and go to bed and then rinse and repeat, right? Their minds are going to be blown. They probably won't even believe it when the proof is right in front of them.
No, there's a lot of people that don't believe it right now, and I'm sharing
Yeah.
the proof. A
Yeah.
lot of people can't handle the truth because, I mean, it's right there in their face.
Yeah.
Hey, the people we vote for are murder
Yeah.
and crime ring. They're the
Right.
cabal. It's all staged, it's all planned, it's all backed by Hollywood, and it's freaking huge.
Yeah.
And I lived it. I can explain how the cells break off and work and how the organized crime works, but it's not for us. It's not for we the people. It's not for the little guy. It's for the rich. It's for the upper class at the very top. And that's how they keep staying at the very top. And straight up, it's a murder crime ring.
Right. Right. Now, most people we laugh about lawyers, we'll laugh about politicians. It's kind of like a little joke, right? This is serious business. All right. The government does not care about the common person. All right. And that's as a collective. Like there's good people sprinkled everywhere, of course. but they have systematically come up with these plans to basically create debt slaves out of us, do experiments on us, control us, have us pay everything and do all the work, and they get the control of the people, right?
And it's
Yes.
been going on for thousands of years.
Yeah.
It really has. But, you know, we only live so long, and everything we learn, there's a lot of secrets that people die with. And people, it takes a long time. Like I'm an old man. I'm wrong all the time. I am. I learned the hard way. I've learned by the lessons, and I've been fooled too. But life is a learning experience. That,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, we're seeing more and more video come out now. Like the guys will be in their basement, they open up a secret trap door, and there's a whole bunch of bodies and skeletons and stuff in there. There's tunnels in there. We're seeing all sorts of tunnels. Well, for us that are in this group, we already know all of that exists, but the videos are coming out. The proof is coming out. All right, so it's going to come out this year fully, and people probably won't want to accept it. They're going to be very upset when they see it and when they hear what's been going on. And then when your story comes out, again, now for most of us, we just lived in, we'll call them middle class families, average families, and we heard about everything that happened to your father. There was quite a bit of emotion when he was assassinated. I mean, he was well loved, as was your mother. All right. And then we were fed the story of, them going, she got remarried, and then she became this book editor and blah, 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 blah. So we've been fed these stories all this time. Those stories are deeply programmed into us, right? So we're always getting the question, you don't look the same. You don't have a Boston accent. How'd you get out of the plane crash? How'd you survive? And for those people that don't understand, read the book and or watch those two videos, because that tells the story, but that you're not the only one that kind of stuff has happened to, you
oh
know?
yeah. There's so many victims. The
There's a
younger
lot of them.
generation, they don't know the story. They haven't been told the
Yeah.
story. They need to, you young kids, and you need to hear my story and see what I'm saying. The lady that's working on our next book, there was this young girl, and high school girl, college girl, and she had a book on the shelf. I think it was a book called Jackie. It had a picture of my mother on it, and the lady was like, "Do you know who that is?" And the girl was like, "Is that you?" And she did not even know it was Jackie Kennedy, our former first lady, you know, that was, she just didn't have a clue.
Right,
So the younger generation don't know the story. This book that she's working on is going to be for the older people that know the story already
right.
and can relate, that were around when my father was assassinated and the heartbreak it brought and how it was covered up and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, the young people don't know, they don't know any of the prominent figures or stories in history. And of course, all of that's made up anyways, but in general, they don't know, they don't understand. And,
Yeah.
they're everyone is very wrapped up in their technology and in their own life. All right. So they're walking around facing their phone all the time. They're really not looking at a bigger picture out there. Like maybe this is
Yeah.
a
I
true story, you
I
know?
can't stress it enough. The younger crowd needs to really hear my story because it affects them
Yeah.
so much on
Yeah.
what's going on. And I wish I could get it out to high school and college, and hey, you've been lied to. What you're learning in school is BS.
Yeah.
It's you go to history class. Well, guess what? They need to change the history books with how it really is, not what's put in front of you. And it needs all the history books need to be
Right.
changed. They really, really do.
Well, look at they're trying to rewrite our history. We already know that. So the books are owned by really one company, and we know that they're corrupt. Okay. So they've been giving us stories that we're taught over and over and over. They become common knowledge. They're not even true. They're a distraction. So they're trying to rewrite history, and the American Indians are basically being phased out of our history, right? Um, and they're doing that with other historical events all over. And of course, the young people don't, and they don't even get books in school anymore, by the way. Most most schools don't give you books. Like when I went to school, we had a book for every subject. Usually we left them in our desk, but as we got older, we'd bring them home to do homework. And well, the kids don't get books anymore. They go online or whatever. And I don't know how they research other than maybe Wikipedia. So a lot of incorrect information being shifted around there, you know? And so they don't know. What
And
would
there's
be
so much they
cool
can.
what would be really cool is if you had a center, which could be like a partially a museum, a memorabilia, artifacts, historical facts about your family and your life. And then you had like an auditorium where you could talk, like you could do presentations periodically and have other whistleblower types of people come in and tell their story to people that,
I've been praying for that, Sue.
yeah,
I have been praying.
yeah,
I call it a church. But yeah, I would love to be able someday to have a church
yeah,
and have it full of memorabilia and have, supporters and people show up and do little
yeah,
talks and share stories,
yeah,
and then, be planted in the community where we can help people that are down and out, help people
yeah,
that, because it's a crime to be homeless when our government is making people homeless. The crime should be against our government for allowing the homeless, allowing them to be homeless. So a John Kennedy Jr. church or whatever you want to call it would be,
yeah.
like I said, I'm praying for it.
Yeah.
I really
Well, you
am.
can have an assistant that would help answer emails and open your fan mail, okay? You have
Oh
a
yeah,
kid.
once we were established,
Yeah.
I would have to have all
Yeah.
kinds of people that wanted to help, and but
You
yeah,
You could also offer support because, like I said, the whistleblowers are going to be coming forward. And so not everyone was a president's son that has been kidnapped or MK Ultra. Some are celebrities' children. Sometimes a celebrity doesn't even know their child is alive. Okay. And so there's a lot out there that are going to be coming forward with their story. It's going to be horrific stuff
it
that we're
would it would be so awesome to have, like I said, a church and have these other victims, show up and have it videotaped where they're sharing their stories of MK Ultra and how they were kidnapped
yeah.
and child
Yeah.
trafficked and tortured, and and having it on King Smarty TV
Yeah,
all at the same
yeah,
time.
yeah. Well, that is going to be that is fabulous. So all that information is going to get out there to the world. It will be worldwide, and people will come and make your center a destination. They'll come to the U.S. to
I,
tour.
I would love it to have, because I've had so many people say, "Can you help me?
Yeah,
Help me, please." Um, Emails and messages. I'm a victim. They killed my loved ones. They killed my family members. They killed my husband. Many over the years,
yeah,
and people,
yeah,
I'm on the verge of, you know,
yeah,
poverty.
yeah,
I don't have, if I had the resources to help, if I had a church where you could share your story, where, come to my church, I'll give you the shirt off my back. But, you know,
yeah. Well, the problem is there are many in need, and you're now an authority figure, right? And they think that you've got the answers, the solution, the connection, maybe the money, but they're desperate. They all need help.
and
I get
we need to
messages like
change
that.
we
Yeah,
need to change our government and fix our government
yeah,
to help these people. And they're just destroying, I
yeah,
can't, our government's destroying us.
yeah. So look at, we're taught that the US is the most powerful and wealthiest country in the world, right? We've been taught that, and of course, we're totally free. We've been taught that over and over our whole lives. Look at the state of our cities, okay? people living on the streets, people that can't pay their bills, they don't have food, they resort to crime. It's a very negative downward spiral.
Yeah, and the drugs, and it's
Yeah.
really sad.
In the average family, both parents have to work if there are both parents. So the kids really have no guidance, no support, no education about how to live in society, right? So it's no wonder our society is so messed up. Yeah. And it's by design. It wasn't just like chance that this happened. It's by design. So we
Power and
need
greed, power and greed.
power and greed. Yeah, we need to reverse that. But the
Yeah.
first step right now, we could talk about this stuff all day, but our real goal right now is to get your story out there because it's like the tip of the iceberg. It's like breaking up a log jam in a stream. Once this little piece gets out there, the rest are going to just explode.
Help get my story out, people.
Yeah.
Let's expose it. Once it's out, I can be a voice for the people
Yeah.
and use that voice to help turn things around for the people.
Right. Right. Now, um, so many people have been helpful and sent you beautiful gifts and donations. And I'd like to share the website again if I could. I mean, we've done this maybe three or four times recently, and it seems to be really interesting to people when I share it around. I just have to find it, of course. Um,
Oh, it is so appreciated.
yeah. So
Um,
we're going to be expanding the website, the timeline, and some of the pictures. So if you have great pictures of John that we might not have, we would welcome them. John would welcome them, right?
oh, most definitely.
Yeah. So here's the website, the real John F. Kennedy Jr.com. Okay. Here's the cover page or the home page that tells a little bit about the story. And there's videos at the bottom. And then there is a gallery page. There's a timeline page. There's a shop page. And some of the interviews you've done are here, not all of them, of course. All right. So that's the home page.
And
Now,
we are so suppressed.
yeah,
Um, I've said if we could get this book number one, it would make a big difference. It would make a huge difference. And they don't want it number one, but
right.
if you can afford the $20 on Amazon to get it, it helps such. I mean, just think if this book was number one and everybody was
Yeah,
able to read it. Um, on YouTube this morning, I'll share it with Sue, the link to YouTube. Um, this lion read this whole book on YouTube. Um, so yeah, I want to make sure everybody that can't afford the book that can go
right.
on there and listen to it audio way, but
Yeah.
it needs to be heard
Once
worldwide.
I get the link, I'll put it in the description of this video and the prior ones, and then people can go online. Now, I know we've got friends in Australia and they cannot get the book there. Even though they have Amazon, the book is not available for them for some reason.
Well,
So,
it's $32 to send that book to
yeah,
Australia.
isn't it awful?
And
So,
it's more than the book costs.
yeah,
I've sent three or four to Australia, and it really hurts the pocketbook when it's
yeah,
$32 a lot of money anymore. But
definitely.
there's a few people that have been sharing my story. Lanny's one, and she shares my story every day, and she doesn't have a book, and it's like
Right.
we're coming up with that $32 to send you that book.
Yeah, yeah,
King sent me 30 books. I think it's been a month now, and there's been people write me say, "Hey, John, I don't have the money. I've sent them people that have purchased necklaces. I've sent them books. I think I only have like 5 books left out of the 30 that King sent me,
yeah,
which is bless his heart, and it it hits me right here when I have a book available to
yeah,
send to somebody that doesn't have one because
yeah.
it's all about getting the story out. It
Right,
really is.
right.
So think about that too. If you are making a donation, it all helps to share
Yeah,
the story.
yeah. So, when you do make a donation to John, it's really A, for living expenses, and then he buys books to donate to people and share around. And like we've been talking about, there's a lot of people in need right now that can't actually purchase the book. So the online reading of the book will be really helpful. So that will most everyone has access to the internet now. So that's going to be very helpful for people, but it still is great to have those books. I personally like to read a physical book. It's a generational thing maybe, but yeah. So you've got about how many you said? Five?
I think I got five,
Yeah, okay. Okay. So the next five people that buy a
six. I actually got six.
all right. The next five people that buy a pendant will get a book with the pendant. Yay.
Most definitely.
I wanted to show these pictures of the hobbit ears you seem to have.
Right here.
That's funny. But yeah, these are very prominent ears in the photos of when you were younger. Okay. Very prominent in the photos.
There's actually been experts that do that for a living for
Yeah.
identifying
Yeah.
people through facial features like the ears.
Yeah. Right there.
And they both said, you're 98% the real John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. by looking at those pictures, comparing
Yeah.
them to my ears.
Yeah.
So you all think about that 98%. And if they compare the earlobes to George Onassis, the man that stole my identity, that, I was kidnapped, I was replaced, they stole my identity, his ears don't match up at all. It's like 0%.
Right.
And I read in my live on YouTube the other day, I shared how our Secret Service had us grow our hair over our ears because they knew the switch was coming. It was planned
Yeah.
that they were taking over the Kennedy and the Onassis fortunes, the billions of dollars. So they had us kids preparing. They had us grow our hair long. They had me bleaching my hair with lemon juice, making me stand out in the sun, so it was blonder than in the photos. He had jet black hair. If you look at these photos that are in color, um,
Yeah.
that kid doesn't have. I didn't
Yeah.
have jet black hair. Look at
Yeah.
that pug nose
Yeah.
and the eyes.
Yeah.
I was a goofy kid.
Well, so you can really clearly see the ears here. Now,
Yeah.
there is a fabulous picture where they compare your ears and then they compare the imposter's ears. And obviously, it's quite different. We're going to see if we can get our hands on that photo. So, if anyone has that, if you would send it over to John or me, we'll get it out on the website. That'll be super helpful. All
Yeah,
right.
Henry's awesome at digging stuff
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Henry, if you're on and you're listening, please send me some ear photos.
Yeah. Send any
Um,
photo that we don't have on this
yeah, I
website.
actually took a bunch of photos of my ears just a couple days ago and sent them to
Mhm.
Mojo. So yeah, if you got any comparisons
Yeah,
from George Jr. to mine, it's appreciated. Maybe we can get them
yeah,
on the website.
yeah. Awesome. All right, I'm going to go over the shop page, which is the pendant that we have here. And so this is the cover of your book on the front, and then the back has the title of the book. And there's five different colors of the pendant in two sizes, small and large. Okay. And they are 111 plus $10 shipping each. The next six people that order will be getting an autographed book, right? You sign them, right?
Yep, I just
It's
looked. I got six of them,
That's amazing,
plus the one I hold up. So
right?
actually, but I spilled coffee on that one.
So not only are these pendants, we're going to call them collector's items because they will be worth probably quite a bit in the future, and they're beautiful and fun to wear. They have healing frequencies. So they have
And
protective frequencies and healing frequencies in them.
and when you get stressed out, you do like I do. You grab a hold of it and you say, "If John Kennedy can survive through it, so can I."
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it helps mentally. It
yeah.
really does.
Yeah. Beautiful products, though, really well made, beautiful chain. And again, healing frequencies. So protective against radiation and EMFs and all the stuff that's floating around out there. And they are also, the frequencies will heal from any disease, illness, etc. Now, for
And
some
they're
people,
awesome pieces of they're beautiful. They
they
really
totally
are.
are. So for some people, it's immediate healing. They can feel it right away. And for some people, it's a little more gradual. Okay, so it depends on the person. It depends on your lifestyle, your belief system, the whole nine yards. Okay, so for everyone is different. And another thing I'd like to ask is, so for people that are getting these books, read them obviously so you understand the story, but please share them around. Let someone borrow them. If you have the funds, buy a book and send it to your friends or whatever. So it's
Most
every little bit
definitely.
helpful. Yeah,
However they can help, send it to a senator. Say, hey, how come you won't help expose this man?
yeah,
Send it to a congressman. Say,
yeah,
hey, this guy needs all the help he can get. Send
yeah,
it to your library. It's somebody sent me a thing. Actually, there's two books um, publicly noted in two libraries where they're actually in the computer system.
yeah,
Please, if you read it,
yeah,
and you think you should share, give it to the library if you can afford it.
yeah.
If not, save it. It's going to be a collector's item someday. It really is.
Well, I asked my library to buy it here. Now it's $20, okay? And they did buy it, which was cool.
Oh,
Okay.
that's
Now
cool.
some libraries won't buy it. I don't know why. All right.
Mine wouldn't.
Yeah.
I'm from Bullhead City. I went to Bullhead City Library. It's like, will you purchase this book? They're like, no, we can't. It's like, well, here's my copy.
Yeah.
Please put it on the shelf somewhere. I haven't
Yeah.
checked to see if it was after that. But
You can talk to the library director in some libraries. And, I sat down with a librarian or the director and I talked to her about certain things and we got the book. Yeah. And then
and
I
I so
wrote
appreciate it too.
Then
Thank
I
you.
wrote a review on, well, of course, on Amazon, but I wrote a review in the library, like they have an automatic, like a little online system. So I wrote reviews there as well. Okay,
Oh.
so hopefully, and then I enclosed a note on the inside cover of the book. And I forgot exactly what I said, but it was like, you guys got to read this book.
Well, thank you
So
so much for that.
yeah, we're trying to get it out there, right? So this is the website. I'm really excited about this and it's going to be expanded. And so if anyone has cool pictures or whatever, send them to John
It's
and
a
we'll get
huge
them out
achievement.
there.
It really
Yeah,
is. And it's
yeah.
so much appreciated for
Just like
all the
your book
lines.
is. Your book is I know Jackie Goldman wrote the book, right? But she had to put all of that together, right?
Yeah, she worked really, really hard.
Yeah,
I tried proofreading the book. Um, I would bust out in tears because it is talking about the deaths of my loved ones and what I had gone through.
yeah,
And I would stop and take a break. And then the next day it's like, well, I need to get this proofread. And I'd bust out in tears again. And then I did it a third time. And then I was like, it's good enough. I don't want to read no more. So basically I never read the whole book. Um, but it was my words that she put down.
it's
So
well done. Okay, so I mean, it's not totally chronological, but the reader gets the gist. Okay. So it wasn't an easy life. We'll just
and
put it,
I'm hoping Jackie's thinking about stolen identity too. I really, really do.
yeah,
Um, the more the merrier, the more we can get this story out.
yeah,
It would be so awesome. Um, Even King Smarty said, hey, I know somebody that wants to write your story. It's like, please do get on it. Let's get this story out
yeah,
world.
yeah. Well, we want the story out there. And, not a lot of people read physical books anymore. Like they're either on Kindle or whatever. I don't even know what people do. I read books and I will read almost a book a day. All right, literally. So I go to the library a lot because I have a book problem and it costs a lot of money. So the library is free.
I like the pictures. I've never really Jackie used to make me speed read when I was a kid. She wanted me poetry, and she'd give me great big fat books at nighttime and say, I want this read by the next day, and then I'm going to question you on it. That was when I was young.
Yeah,
But I don't read books. I look at pictures now.
yeah. Well, sometimes that's just as good. I do like the pictures in your book are really good because they're well placed. Like she did a very good job on this book, you
Yeah,
know.
she did.
And
Wonderful.
like I said, easy to read. You could flip right through this. Like for me, it was maybe 3 or 4 hours. The first time I read it, the second time I was maybe because I was taking notes, so I could understand the chronological aspect of the story. But very well done.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
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 she did.
yeah,
Wonderful job. Wonderful
yeah.
job.
So we've talked about pretty much everything, but yeah, unfortunately, the government is not our friend, and that we're in the U.S., so we're talking primarily about the U.S. government, but isn't that true pretty much everywhere? There's very few governments out there where they're really for the people anymore. All right. And that's been that way a long time. It's
It's
just
so
been more,
sad. It
I
really
think with
is.
the internet, it's been more, uh, it's less it's easier to get the stories out there because we can share now quickly. Where like even 30 years ago, we didn't really have access to computers or whatever. We would have to research things and handwrite or typewrite things, right? It wasn't the same ease and speed of communication that we have now.
Yeah. It
So,
technology, even when I was young, working on motorbikes and
yeah,
working on cars and trying to figure
yeah,
out carburetors and why there's a miss, now you can just
mhm,
Google it
yeah,
and you get the answers. Like what's the firing order for a Chevy 350 versus, a Ford 350. And now all you have to do is talk into your phone and say, what's a firing order for a Chevy 350? And it comes up. Well, back in the 70s when I was a kid, it's like, hey, brother, what's a firing order? You didn't have that
right,
instant knowledge.
yeah. It's good and it's bad because then we become too dependent on it. Like let's say we don't have our phone and we have to navigate somewhere. I don't think some of these young people know how to use maps. And we don't even have maps like we used to, right? It used to be you were going on a trip, right? Multi-state trip, you'd have like all these road maps. I'd have the directions written down and all that. And I'd have the map as a backup in case I got lost, right? And now we just have the GPS, which is awesome.
See, now
But
I'm thinking about firing orders.
yeah.
53465 7. Wait, wait.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Is that 8? 53465 7 8. I don't know.
yeah. So
But now is that for a Ford or a Chevy? I don't remember.
somebody had asked earlier today in this chat if the experiences in your book had already happened. All right. Hello. Yes, they already happened. That's why we're talking about them. This isn't fiction. This really happened.
Yeah,
For
the
real.
bullet really
Oh,
grazed by my cheek.
yeah.
Um, I really had a breakdown. I was really poisoned. I don't know how many times I laid there sick, thinking about suicide because the pain was so bad.
Yeah.
And a lot of bad people I'm exposing to that. It's huge.
Yeah.
They didn't want this story out. So, like I always say, if you're able to hear this story, please grasp how important it is because they don't want you to know my story.
Yeah. It's really hard because your entire family has literally been murdered. Okay, I said the word. All right. So for us, we can't really, like, we understand it intellectually. It's hard to understand that emotionally. All right. But then add in the layers of, okay, so that's bad enough. Add in the layer of being tortured, beaten, poisoned, betrayed, like all the things you've went through your life, shuffled from place to place, told lies, like tricked, like all of that, kept in poverty. So poverty is a way they control the people that have been suppressed. We'll call it
Oh,
that.
yeah, they're good at
Like
it too.
like they're
I was
controlling
just
the
thinking of a
population.
story when
Yeah,
I was first married. We were living in a camper trailer. It was kind of like a mobile home. And they were giving me so much. The county was getting on me. But I was laying in bed with my ex-wife and I heard a woof. And I was like, God was telling me, you need to go the frick outside and check it out. And, that's, I've listened to God,
Yeah.
He's kept me alive. So I went out the front door and I looked over, and my hot water heater and the whole side of the mobile home trailer was on fire. And I went out there, and the hot water tank was on fire. Well, it's impossible what I saw, for the walls to be on fire and the hot water to be on fire and sitting there burning metal and paint. And I was barefooted and I ran and got the water hose and I put it out, but it was impossible for it to catch fire. What somebody did was probably have a bucket of gasoline and threw on there and lit a match to burn my house down. Things like that, and all the crazy things they did to keep me in poverty, messing with putting sugar in my gas tank. I'd buy a vehicle, they'd put sugar in the gas, and then the motor would blow up, and then I'd be struggling again. But it was nonstop all the freaking time. It was crazy, and there's a
Right.
lot of that stuff that's not in my book.
Yeah.
The book is kind of just a little wake up. We've been sharing a lot of the stories here. I've brought up some new things that aren't in my book over the past videos with Sue, but yeah, you couldn't get my life story in this,
Yeah.
but it is a wake up. It really
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Jackie did a good job into explaining that. Um, yeah,
Yeah. It gives us the flavor of what you went through, which was horrible. And again, you were just a little kid. So you were shuffled around, you're flown around. The Secret Service agents were corrupt. Everyone was after, again, greed. Everyone was after money and power and control. So shuffled around, lied to, all sorts of things.
they all got their little cells in the FBI and our Secret Service and CIA, and it's all about lining
Yeah,
their pockets with money and getting
yeah,
rich.
yeah,
Whether it's identity theft to drugs to however selling
yeah,
weapons, and it gets on and on and on
yeah,
of what's out there. If there's a dollar bill in it, like I've shared, my sister was eliminated unalived at a very very young age. These people don't care. Children, they don't care. um I was told, they told me they were going to own me, and they have basically all
yeah,
these years.
yeah,
They have owned me, and slavery should not be allowed in our government. But it's how these people, the power they have.
yeah. Okay. Well, it's very frustrating because it's really hard to overcome an enemy until you know who they are, right? So that's my new foundational belief. Okay, we're becoming aware of the enemy, right?
One thing that really messed up my head, I think it's in my book, where I was working in the front of my property and a bullet grazed my cheek. It literally went right under my nose and grazed my cheek, and I could smell the gunpowder, but it was from a sniper. It was from somebody way off in the distance. And not knowing who my enemy was, who was behind that trigger, drove me crazy, because I was going crazy trying to figure that out for years. It really messed with your head when somebody you can't see, you don't know who it is trying to unalive you.
Yeah.
It's really, um, it's really mentally messed up.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Because when you are centered and you see a bigger picture, you're able to come up with a plan, right? You've been kept off center, you've been kept in anxiety, and people don't believe your story, you don't have the money, you don't have the support, you don't have this, you don't have that. It's really hard to do anything about it. And that's where we're coming in. We're supporting you, right? We believe your story, we're supporting you, we're helping to get that story out there. Other people are going to come in, do interviews of you, write the book, do the documentaries, do the movies.
And
And
the love is so appreciated, so welcomed.
yeah,
It's awesome.
Yeah. And people are going to understand what's happened. And we don't ever want that to happen again to anyone.
Oh,
Doesn't,
I can just imagine because the cabal are running things.
yeah,
The presidents are placed, and then you see the children, and you know that there's MK Ultra going on. There's
yeah,
there's there's torture going on. There's what they do to silence these children from so the lies and the deception don't get out. I
yeah,
can just imagine. I can just imagine because I went through it.
yeah,
So it's really huge.
yeah. Well, I'm glad that you've hung in there. And I'm glad that everyone that's watching has found you. And so everyone hang in there, share, all of those normal things. And we're going to get, it's not to, it's not for my benefit, although it will benefit everyone on earth because we will be free to talk about what's happening. We'll be free to help solve the problems and support those that need help. Right? We've talked about the veterans. The veterans have gotten, they've come home from war and they were really maligned. No one supported the veterans, right? They've got health problems, stress, they've got no money, they've got also then their family falls apart. It's just really ugly. So we need to support each other.
Most definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we went on a little rant today, but
It was a good rant, though. Hopefully, we woke some people up.
yeah, but
Hopefully, some people hit that share button.
yeah. So again, 6 books for the pendant. So that's good, good, good. And that just helps John, support his eating lifestyle. He likes to eat food once in a while. And then maybe we'll get Robin a kitchen sink.
No, I got the kitchen sink. I got two kitchen sinks.
Oh,
I
you
got them
do?
both used.
Ah,
I got them before I had the cabinets. One's a
ah,
great big huge heavy cast iron sink, and the other one is a stainless steel. But I got really good deals on them. I think I paid $25 each for them.
yeah. Okay.
So Robin can have her choice. It's the countertop I need to put
Yeah.
on top of the cabinets I just
Mhm.
bought, but it's getting done. It really is, and the blessings are so appreciated.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
We,
I'm gonna have to clean up the house and do a video and share
yeah.
Robin's wonderful paint jobs and my
Yeah.
handy carpentry skills and stuff.
Well, it's not 100% necessary. I know people would love to see it though. And, we're very curious about all the things that are going on. It's not like you have a normal lifestyle. You're creating a home out of really nothing right now, and it's really great that you know how to do all of that. Most of us
Yeah.
don't.
Well, I was at the church yesterday,
Yeah.
and I love going to the church. They love me. I share my story. Everybody calls me John Kennedy. Um, the lady,
Mhm.
gives me deals on everything that I go in there to buy, from toilets to whatever. It's like
Yeah.
a big thrift store.
Yeah.
And I bought Robin a great big huge flower pot, and the guys delivered it. And when they got here, they were like, "Wow, this place is looking nice." And I was like, "Well, thanks."
Yeah.
And they're like, "The fence is even gone," because I had an old rattly chain link fence
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
front. I yanked that up, but
Yeah.
yeah, they delivered Robin's big flower pot, and
Awesome.
I had some Christmas trees that I got discount after Christmas, the live ones that I got from the supermarket, and I put them in that flower pot this morning.
Yeah. Nice.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's getting a homey look.
Yeah. Every little piece makes a difference. It layers it on and it will make you just feel so much better about your situation. When you have a place to live, it's like comfort, right? You have a place that
Yeah.
you're
And
safe.
it's still mentally messed up because,
Yeah.
I spent 9 years with my son here, and I still miss him.
Yeah.
And it's hard mentally that way. So, some mornings I wake up and say, I should just sell this place or do something with it and keep moving on better and forward and try to forget about the bad memories. But
Yeah.
it's all
Well,
it's all
he
life. It's all
he
life.
wants you to have the happiest life you could have, right? And of course, we're always constrained by money at this point. Pretty much everyone is constrained by money.
Yeah.
The
Things are so
happy,
hard for everybody.
Yeah, they are. It's the happiest life you can have, and you're doing a great job juggling it. So
Well,
yay.
thank you.
Yeah. All right. And so if anyone has any great pictures of John or the Kennedy family that are not on the website, if you'll send them over to him or me, we'll try to get them out there and make it even more robust and informative.
And
And
while you're saying that, Sue, I spent a lot of time in Coarse Gold, California. It's in my book, and Oakhurst, California in the
yeah,
70s. I went to Coarse Gold Elementary School. I had girlfriends and things taking pictures. If anybody hears my video and has pictures of me when I was young, there's very, very few pictures of me when I was a teenager. And I
yeah,
would love to have some. I really, really would.
right.
So yeah, if you stumble across my video and say, hey, I knew that guy. I went to elementary school or I went to high school with John
Yeah,
Kennedy, the real one, please look for some photos and send them in.
awesome. All right. Well, I want to say thank you for your time. We'll talk again next week if that works for you. And every week is
Always.
different, right? We always come up with whatever we feel like, I guess.
Yeah, we don't have no scripts.
Yeah. So 2025 is the year of full and honorable
I
disclosure.
got to put my glasses back on.
That's right. That's right. So
This year,
go,
people, justice for John. It's justice for the world.
yes.
25.
I gotta say you look kind of ridiculous.
I do. But hey, they were only 50 cents, and I figured for 50 cents, I can make a video on YouTube or Facebook,
Yeah.
and people are going to say that goofball right there, and they'll hit the share button.
Yeah.
So it'll be one share. It's worth that 50 cents. It really is.
Hey, you gotta make it light. Like we can sit here and cry and boo-hoo all day long. Pretty much the whole world is doing that. We gotta have as much fun in the little things throughout the day that we can, right? Because it gets so
Right.
serious, right? Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, and thank you all that are watching. I appreciate you all.
So do I. So please hit that share button and let's get this world, let's get this
Excellent.
story world